Brexit, a decision that reshaped Europe's political landscape, ignited fervent debates, and divided a nation. But as the dust settles, the repercussions echo louder than ever. The decision to leave the European Union, often hailed as a moment of sovereignty and independence, has since unfolded into a complex web of challenges, leaving many questioning, could the UK ever rejoin the EU? One of the most immediate and tangible effects of Brexit has been its economic impact. According to a report by the Office for Budget Responsibility, Brexit will have a long-term effect of cutting UK GDP by a hefty 4%. This decline amounts to £100 billion in lost output and £40 billion less revenue to the Treasury a year. The majority of economists believe that Brexit has harmed the UK's economy and reduced its real per capita income in the long term and has not improved the economy. The economic impact of Brexit has been felt in various sectors of the UK economy. The UK's withdrawal from the EU has led to new laws, paperwork, and checks on goods traded with the EU, which has resulted in a decline in trade volumes by 16%. The price of food imported from the EU has also risen, which has made it easier for domestic food producers to compete. The abrupt separation disrupted already established trade relationships, causing disruptions in supply chains and increased tariffs. The UK has signed new trade deals with Australia and New Zealand. However, they are only expected to deliver a tiny boost to trade, and even that will take several years. Brexit ignited fervent discussions on identity, nationalism, and immigration, tapping into deep-seated societal divides. Changes in immigration policies post-Brexit impacted both EU and non-EU citizens, stirring debates about multiculturalism and the UK's stance on diversity. The withdrawal from EU educational programs and research collaborations has had a significant impact on academic institutions in the UK. The loss of access to EU research funding, mobility programs, and collaborations has hindered knowledge exchange and opportunities for students and researchers. For example, the UK's withdrawal from the Erasmus Plus program has led to a decline in the number of students studying abroad. The Erasmus Plus program provided students with the opportunity to study in other European countries and gain valuable international experience. The UK government has launched a new program called the Turing Scheme, which aims to replace the Erasmus Plus program. However, the Turing Scheme is only available to UK students and does not provide the same level of funding as the Erasmus Plus program. Brexit has reshaped the political landscape of the UK. The deep divisions within political parties and the series of negotiations and debates that followed have had a profound impact on the UK's political stability and its position on the global stage. The aftermath of Brexit has witnessed shifts in political allegiances, with many voters switching their support from one party to another. The Conservative Party, which was responsible for initiating Brexit, has seen a rise in popularity since the referendum. However, the party has also witnessed a decline in support from younger voters who are more likely to be pro-EU. The Labour Party, on the other hand, has struggled to maintain a clear stance on Brexit, which has led to a decline in support from both pro- and anti-Brexit voters. The Liberal Democrats, who were staunchly pro-EU, have seen a surge in support from voters who are unhappy with the outcome of the referendum. The political divisions caused by Brexit have also led to a rise in nationalism and anti-immigrant sentiment in the UK. The UK's decision to leave the EU has been seen as a rejection of the idea of a united Europe and has emboldened nationalist movements across the continent. The UK's position on the global stage has also been affected by Brexit, with the country losing its status as a leading voice in the EU and the world. As the UK charts its post-Brexit course, the idea of rejoining the EU has been an idea many critics have been exploring. Factors such as youth sentiment, economic recovery, and changing political landscapes raise the question: could the UK reverse its path and seek re-entry into the European Union? Rejoining the EU isn't a simple process. It involves negotiations, acceptance of EU laws, and reshaping relationships, but it could offer economic stability, increased global influence, and access to the European single market. Post-Brexit, public sentiment has shifted, with 65% of Brits being in favor of rejoining the EU, compared to that of 24% who are opposed to rejoining it. Advocates for rejoining argue that being part of the EU's single market could offer the UK economic stability, access to a larger consumer base, and enhanced trade opportunities. Younger generations in the UK generally showed more support for remaining in the EU. Over time, as demographics shift, the attitudes toward rejoining might evolve, influencing future political decisions. However, rejoining the EU is not a straightforward process. It involves negotiations, potential opt-outs or commitments to EU policies, and the acceptance of EU laws and regulations. The terms of re-entry, especially concerning issues like the euro currency and Schengen area participation, would require careful consideration and negotiation. However, the possibility of the UK rejoining the EU is speculative and subject to numerous variables, including political, economic, and social dynamics. Rejoining will depend on how these factors evolve over time and whether there's a considerable shift in the perception of the benefits and drawbacks of EU membership for the UK.